All right, we're getting closer to launching those money campaigns. But first off, we need to take a vital step, and that is warming up our ad accounts. So this is an important step whether you're running from a personal ad account or an agency ad account. Getting a softer campaign approved with ads approved is of the utmost importance, okay? I would even go as far to say, especially if you're running in a personal ad account where your spending threshold is maybe $20 before your build, okay? I would go to say run page likes and softer campaigns until your first billing before launching a conversion campaign, okay? The conversion campaign is usually what's going to trigger Facebook shutting down an ad account for precautionary reasons, right? So if we manage to launch a page like campaign or a post engagement campaign or a brand awareness campaign, one of those softer campaigns, and we get a bunch of ads approved in that campaign and for the Facebook page, and we even get $15, $20, $25 spent in that ad account before we launch our conversion campaign, we're going to be in a lot better standing when it comes to launching that conversion campaign, right? We've already gained credibility, trust with Facebook, and that is super important, okay? Now, agency accounts, if you're running from them, I don't see as much a need to get that first billing. I still like to launch page like campaigns and the softer campaigns initially before launching a conversion campaign, but I don't necessarily need to wait for $20 spent before I launch that conversion campaign, okay? So I'm going to launch page likes and post engagement campaigns, and then straight away I'm going to launch a conversion campaign as well as soon as my page like and post engagement ads are approved. Now, I know for someone who's brand new to this, it might be a little bit over your head right now, which is why we're going to walk through it, okay? So first things first, I'm in my ad account. We've already allocated the Facebook page within the business manager. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to click the green create button, and I'm going to go to engagement, and I'm going to go to continue, and I'm going to hit manual engagement campaign and continue again. And this is going to create a draft campaign right here. So I'm going to relabel the campaign PL for page likes. I'm going to label it today's date so I know exactly when this campaign started. And then I'm going to hit next. And I'm going to do up here, I'm going to say the name of the page we're going to use. And again, I'm going to label today's date. And I'm going to hit Facebook page under the conversion location, Facebook page. And then under Facebook page, I'm going to search for Mary Santos, which is there. And I'm going to scroll down. I'm going to leave this at 25 for now. Once it gets approved and starts spending, I'll probably drop it down to $2 a day. I would advise that if you're wanting to move a little bit faster with this and you are going the personal ad account route, I think, slower is better. But if you're still wanting to try it out and, increase the risk of potentially being shut down and ad accounts disabled, but you still want to risk it, then I would spend higher on this budget so you can blow through that first billing, right? And I think, the first billing comes around $20. And then at least you've got that first billing before you launch your conversion campaign. But again, completely up to you. There is no right or wrong way. Sometimes you can launch a conversion campaign straight off the bat and it'll be fine. Sometimes you can launch a million, page like campaigns and spend a bunch of money and then launch a conversion campaign and you get shut down. It just depends, right? It's luck of the draw. But to give yourself the best chance, I really think getting as many ads approved, spending, and getting a few dollars under the belt spent in this ad account before launching conversion campaigns is, advisable in my eyes. But again, who am I to say what's right or wrong? All right, so I'm going to leave this at $25. And like I said before, I'm going to come back in once it's approved and up and running, and I'll reduce this down to $2 a day probably. I'm not really too fussed about this. It's literally just to get approved ads on the page and in the ad account. Okay, obviously a page with 1 million likes could potentially be more trustworthy than a page with, 100 likes. But as well, on top of that, I think people are savvy to the fact that pages, page likes can be, bought for quite cheap as well. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to add in some of the countries where we're probably going to target. And Canada is not one, but Canada is. We'll also take United Kingdom, Australia, and probably chuck in New Zealand as well. Again, do you need to really spend that much time on this part? Probably not. I'm just going to chuck in the ones that I know we're probably going to target in our conversion campaign as well. All right, so then next, again, I'm not going to touch anything else on this section, and we're going to go to the ad. And literally all I'm doing here is I'm just adding images, images that can capture people's attention. Obviously, the ones that work best for me are sunsets, picturesque scenery like beaches, waterfalls, or animals, cute animals, okay? I've added in a picture of donkey and baby donkey. Pretty cute. This type of image can really help people engage with the page, liking it. Again, that's going to be important for us as well for our page quality score. So I've added that, but again, you don't have to put too much thought in this. Don't be spending hours looking for the perfect image. A nice sunset, nice scenery, cute animals, puppies, dogs. I would probably avoid anything with text on the image and just go for the actual, visual aspect. So this one looks good to me. I'm going to add that, and I'm going to scroll down, and I can hit publish now. Then what we're going to do, once this is published, is I'm going to grab this ad, and I'm going to duplicate it 19 times. So now we're going to have 20 of the exact same ad active and hopefully approved in this ad account. And the reason why I want to do this is, again, just going back to that trust and credibility, I want to be able to, show Facebook that we are, to be trusted. We've got ads that have been approved and multiple ads. If I was to just have one ad approved, then it's not going to have as much weight, okay? Now, I think there's a ratio, and I don't know what that ratio is, but I think there's a ratio that from, approved ads to rejected ads, okay? And the more balanced the ratio, the higher the chance of you getting shut down. So ideally, let's say, for example, a good ratio would be minimum 95% approved ads and maximum 5% rejected ads. Now, obviously, the lower the rejection percentage, the better, right? And the higher the approval percentage, the better. But let's just say that threshold, once you get over 5% of your ads getting rejected, that's when you're going to start throwing up red flags, okay? So in that respect, it makes sense for us to get 20 page like ads approved and running. And then if we do get an ad rejected, we're within that, that ratio. The more ads we have approved, the better, which is why I like to dupe this out. Now, you could keep on duping like 50, 100, 200 ads. At some point, Facebook's going to be, clocked on to what you're actually doing there, and they'll probably flag you for circumventing systems. But I think, 10 to 20 ads is, we can swerve that sort of red flag as to circumventing systems. So I'm going to stick with 20 ads. So I've duped those 19 or duplicated those 19. I'm just going to review and publish. I'm not bothered about the ad name. I'm not looking at the stats of the ad. I'm not bothered. I don't need to label this Donkey 1 or Donkey and Baby or anything like that. I'm strictly just using these to get approved, so we have that good ratio and also gain that trust and credibility. With the ad set, I do want to label that because I want to know that this is Mary Santos page. If Mary Santos becomes restricted or we need to remove the page or add a new page, I know what page this was and has been used in this ad account, okay? And then obviously the date it was used. If we need to backtrack to when this page was being used, we can know, all right, we started using this page in this ad account on the 1st of Feb. So again, naming convention, super important. So that's our page like campaign published, hopefully gets approved, and we can jump back in and move to the next step.